All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had an amazing trading day yesterday, and we're glad to have you here again on this Wednesday. Let's see what we have for us to trade again. We had a really good watch list yesterday. We took advantage of a lot of great opportunities, so I hope you also were able to take advantage of some of those great moves. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. All right, let's mute that. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm getting some kind of beep feedback, trying to figure out what app is doing this. Let's close Outlook just in case. Might be that. All right, guys, so let's see what we have today. Like I was mentioning, we had a great watch list yesterday, a lot of great opportunities here that we took advantage of. Just amazing moves. So we'll go through this on our top plays and highlights. As usual, our rundown is we'll go over the top plays and highlights from yesterday. Then we'll look into what the market is doing. Then we'll also start getting into our gappers list here as usual, see what stocks could be in play. Then we'll look at our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers, and then we'll get into our whatever you guys are watching that I might not have on my list. All right. So before we get started, I know there's a question I get asked quite often, and I got asked again in my recap, and it's a great question in regards to my P&L, why I do not show my P&L when I'm trading. And it's a great question, and the reason for that is because I don't really want to know how much I'm making and have that affect my decision one way or the other. I want to be able to trade just the charts, just the price action. If I'm in a green trade, I don't want to see, I'm making such and such amount, I should take some off now, or I'm making this much, I should take everything out before it bounces back. I clearly want to trade just the price action. And when you do that, yes, some people can have the P&L there, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it might not affect the way they trade. I find that for me, it does affect the way I trade a little bit. So I'd rather not see it and then just look at my results at the end. Now, towards the other side, if I'm red, if I have two bad trades, right? But if I'm following my rules and I'm sticking to my stop loss, I know those two bad trades are not going to get me to my max loss if I'm sticking to my rules. Now, if I know that I blew through my stop loss, that I'm holding something past where I should be getting out, then I know that's a problem. Then I got to stop. First of all, should stop trading if I'm doing that, right? Breaking my rules. Check my P&L, emotionally check myself to see if I'm still able to trade, without having a bias, without trying to make my money back and things like that. So this is something that has helped me a lot, just to hide my P&L. So that's the reason I do it. I don't look at it at the end of, you can tell if you're doing well. You can tell based on your trades if you're doing good or doing bad. You can quickly, get a read on yourself and say, you know what, I had 3 bad trades. I'm gonna call it a day and save some ammo for tomorrow. Or I had 2 bad trades, stuck to my stop loss. I know that I got good risk management rules when I'm setting my stop losses. I can continue to trade and not have it affect my day. So that's the reason for that. Again, I don't look at my P&L. I look at it at the end of the day or at the end of my trading morning. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, good morning, good morning. Let's see what we have for yesterday. So let's look at EA. EA, again, has just been really unbelievable. Let's remove some of these levels. Actually, let's keep them on there for now. We'll remove them in a sec. But again, just the last several days in play almost every day. Here when it gapped down, here had a huge day, monstrous day here. Remember, we were trading this live. Another great day here yesterday as well. So it's just been unbelievable to trade. Here's how I traded yesterday. Let's get our charts zoomed into the action. You have so many opportunities on EA. Again, it does require for you to wait for a good setup, right? You can't just go in thinking it's going to reverse. So right off the bat, a beautiful opening range breakdown. This 5-minute candle, this is hard to take a trade, especially if you're waiting for that 5-minute strategy, right? Just here, it just completely starts dropping. You don't want to chase this, but you have this huge pullback here, huge pullback, right to the moving average. This would be a perfect entry to get in here short, and then it gives you this beautiful drop all the way to the bottom, all the way down to these levels. And again, never gives you any red candle on the 5-minute chart, so no reason for you to get out of this trade. Hold this into you start seeing this candle here going back against you, kind of leveling out here. And then here again, it gives you a good opportunity. Some people took this for a reversal here. Others waited for the double bottom, a more clean confirmation, right? And you kind of get that here as well, and you get a pop as well. But this turned out to be a good reversal also, a V reversal, which is usually very hard to take because you just never know when the stock is actually reversing or just kind of doing a consolidation to continue its trend downwards. Then later on around 10:45, it does a beautiful reversal here. Again, people took this trade here for the long side and were able to capitalize all the way to the 102. So again, EH is very active yesterday throughout the entire day. You could have had several moves on here, several double bottoms. You know, and then in the afternoon you get this, right? This actually after hours, you get this huge pop and right back down. So again, just I'm sorry, not afternoon, power hour. So a huge pop here as well. MU did the same thing too. We'll look at MU in a second because MU was very active on some news that came out a little earlier, around 2:15 or so. So EA very active to trade. Hopefully you guys are able to capitalize on that. Cron does this almost every day. We see Cron just take off, right, sell up, and then it starts kind of dying down a little bit, and then just towards the end of the day, it just sells off right to this 940 level, 1940 level. So it did that yesterday as well. 1960. Today's back up 1.8% with some decent volume. So we'll check how Cron is doing. But again, I did not find a move on Cron that was pretty tradable. Shop was good. Shop at the open, again, very choppy, very hard to trade. If you look at these candles, let's zoom in a little more. Very hard to trade at the open. If you're looking at the 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart looks a little more cleaner. But again, the 1-minute chart tends to be not as strong as the 5-minute. So very choppy here, but it does go on a nice little run towards the top. And then it gives you this this beautiful reversal. I mean, just a really clean double top right here. It does not get cleaner than that, guys. Look at this double top. Your entry obviously will be anywhere in this area here. You don't want to get faked out, but anywhere in this area here, once it starts losing this here, this is where you want to get in, and it just continues to sell off right to the VWAP and even a bit lower here. So again, beautiful double top here in Shop, and then from there it just takes off again, takes right back off to towards the high of the day. Did it go higher? Yeah, it did go higher. So really good play here. You could have played it twice, double top and then kind of double bottom, but more of a V reversal here, goes above VWAP and it takes off again. So Shop was in play really nice. VNRS was really good. This one actually I took for a short here, got stopped out. Again, we see this strategy so often. It pops up, you know, at the open, sells off, and then goes below VWAP. In most cases, you know, and again, if it's 50-50, you're still in a good strategy, right? 50% of the time, this thing drops and continues to make newer lows, right? You got some moving averages down here, pre-market low as well. In this case, it went back up above VWAP. Some people took it long here and then took advantage of this exact move here. I waited for it to top out. I was sticking around looking at other things, and I saw that this kind of got very toppy up here. Once it started heading down, I got in for a short here and took advantage of this drop all the way down to 54. So really nice trade on VRNS. What happened with VRNS though, the spread was very bad, so you have to be very careful. When I was in this trade here, it was very difficult to hold because the spread, me and Brian were talking about it, was just at some points, you know, up to 80 cents, 50 cents. So it was pretty bad on the spread. UAA was the one that we traded as well. UAA was beautiful. Very choppy at the open first, right? You had a very rough open, didn't know what it wanted to do. But then once it settles in, it does this beautiful squeeze here, goes above VWAP, and it just starts slowly grinding higher and higher and higher. I got in on this bear flag here. So I saw this bull flag. I saw this bull flag here, consolidated. So I jumped in around the area right here. Took some profits off here, but then it just kept consolidating. Didn't look like it wanted to sell off, so I was not sure. It was having a very tough time to get above this 2134. But some people did hold it through this, and they took advantage of this beautiful move all the way up to 2250, 2232 or so. So again, UAA played real nice, and I think it had a sell-off as well. I was in the chat room, and I think some people took it for a sell-off. Yeah, right over here. Some people took this for a short down here as well, and they were able to take advantage of that also. ATVI didn't do much, very choppy. The open was just not clean at all. This was very difficult to trade. Look at these candles. I mean, how do you trade this and manage your risk? So I didn't like the way ATVI was trading at all yesterday. It didn't really show any signs of a good move. AMRS, we were hoping that MARS was going to provide us something, but again, it just was very choppy. Lost the volume, just kind of kept going sideways below the VWAP, and really nothing much for that I found a way on an edge to trade this at all. Now, MU came up on our Benzinga news around 2:15, and it really took off. So I guess one of their execs was having a conversation. And look at this right here. The minute the news came out, exactly when this thing starts taking off. So I hope you guys were watching that and where we take advantage of this move. Again, this is 39.60 all the way up to 40.70, 75 or so. That's a big move for MU because, you know, we know MU doesn't move as much, but this is a great move for MU here. All right, guys. So that was our list for yesterday. We had a really good watch list. Yesterday, a lot of stocks that were active. Let's see what the market has for us today. Let's get some columns in here, and then let's also check what the SPY is doing. So let's look at the SPY and see how we are starting this morning. All right, so just continues to grind slowly higher, making newer highs over the last several weeks. So we had this dip here. Today we're We're up about a little less than 0.5%. So again, not much, but slowly making newer highs. It's kind of slowly grinding up towards these new levels. So now the next level we have here, actually we're at a level right now, this 275.81. So if we can get through that, we can probably start closing this gap over here. So let's see the market again. I thought it was going to sell off here and continue to just hang around 270, but slowly just making newer highs. And also with that, make sure you're checking out Brian's recaps, his weekly recaps and swing trade updates as well on YouTube. And if you're not signed up for his swing updates, make sure you do that also. I see alerts of possible swing trade opportunities. ATBI. So let's get to our gappers list here. Right over here we have a lot of green today in our gappers list. Not much towards the downside, all green for the moment. So let's look at ATBI, who has been having a really tough time the last several days. Well, today's up quite a bit, 3.7, 412,000 shares traded. So that's pretty nice on ATBI. Let's see how that volume looks on the pre-market action. Let's get the 1 minute chart here. All right, so all right, so the pre-market action looks so, but I do like the volume, 412,000 shares traded. It's been beat up quite a bit, so it could be trying to bounce here. So yeah, I do like ATBI. Let's keep ATBI on here. All right, next we have E. Let's start from the top again. EXEL. All right, EXEL, 101,000 shares traded so far. It is up 5.2. Our daily chart looks okay. What's the flow on this? Okay, so it's a mid flow. All right, good. So this looks good. Pre-market action, so. Hope that it gets better. It needs to get more volume, but the daily chart looks good. We have some very clean levels here we can get, and it does move. This stock actually could move quite a bit. So, all right, ATR is 75 cents on this. Let's look at FCX. Wow, tons of levels. I'm going to remove these levels. We'll get some fresh levels if we keep this stock. So FCX right now, not the cleanest daily chart, very choppy and kind of all over the place, unlike the other ones we've seen. So right now, 143,000 shares traded. Pre-market action does not look great. It's pretty choppy at the moment, but again, it just needs to get more volume. So we'll give it a few more minutes to see what it does here. APHA also up 3.2, 107,000 shares traded. Again, daily chart looks like Cron as well. Again, they had this huge, nice pop over here. Now everything's kind of selling off, and then it's up again today, 3.2. So we'll keep it on here as well. VALE is up 2.8, 197,000 shares traded so far. Daily chart looks doesn't look great. This is that foreign stock, by the way, that has some bad news. This is why it has been trading the last several days. Usually the stock is not in play. Pre-market action right now looks very horrible. So this is not a good clean pre-market action. It is early, 8:40 Eastern time. We'll give it a bit here. BTI, let's see what BTI is doing. It's up 2.7, 312,000 shares traded. Tons of volume, but the volume is not creating any type of price action. So I'm not sure where this volume is coming from. I don't see it here. So we'll probably drop that one off. And usually BTI trades very bad anyway. All right, I hear Teva being mentioned quite a bit in our chat room. Let's see what's going on with Teva. It is down 11%. Why is Teva not coming up in our gappers list? So down 11%, 5.5 million shares traded so far. What is the price? Oh, okay. The ATR is just barely missing it right here because it's under 50 cents. But Teva is in play today. I believe we have some news on this. So down quite a bit, 11% on a stock that's trading at around 1950. It's quite a bit. So yeah, this will be in play today. We will definitely watch Teva. Looks good. Daily chart looks good. Some very clean levels we can find here, and the volume is there. 5.5 million shares traded so far. So let's hope that at the open, it gives us an opportunity and it's not all over the place. Usually when stocks have that much volume at the open, it can get very choppy. So we'll be careful. Solo. Let's look at our Nasdaq gainers over here. Solo not looking great. Okay, so yeah, so an FDA warning on Teva. Yeah, it's not good. Never good when you have those kind of issues. All right, so Solo not doing much here. Starting to get some volume now, but not really doing much at the moment. GERN has the volume, but not a great pre-market action. You have some candles here that have all the volume, so we can come back to this a little later. But right now, it's not doing much. STIO, no volume. LSCC. Our SEC has a bit of volume. Looks like it wants to create a good pre-market action, but it's not really there yet. So let's keep an eye out on that. If you guys see something developing there, let me know. We'll go back to it. YGYI, nothing going on. GSUM, nothing happening, no volume. AMKR, not much. XL we have up here already, so XL is up quite a bit. It needs to get more volume, but we have it. VERU, nothing happening, no volume, not a good pre-market action. RWLK is under $1. I don't usually trade stocks under $1, but this one, if you do trade stocks under $1, this one looks very good, you know, based on what I'm seeing right now. It just has a lot of volume, 3.7 million shares traded right now, up 41%. But I really don't trade stocks under $1. I really drag stuff above $3 really. So go is horrible pre-market action. Again, you have just one huge block order here, 1.2 million shares traded, so we don't want to be part of that. ETF, ATVI we have already. ETF, AMD, so AMD up to today. Not a good pre-market action, 387,000 shares traded. What did AMD do yesterday? What did it do? How did it trade? Yeah, it's just very choppy. Look at this open. Just very choppy around the VWAP. Eventually sold off, but again, just not in play at the open. BPY is a horrible pre-market action. GERN we saw already. Nothing much going on over here. So this doesn't look. Hold on. Let's go back to BPY. Yeah, not good. GERN looks like it wants to do something here, but again, all the volume right now is kind of sitting on some candles here. Not a good pre-market action, so I personally don't like that one. ETF on QQQ, and then last one, MGNX. Was this the one? Yeah, this is the one we were trading a couple of days ago. It was just crazy. Andrew had a really nice trade on this stock before he went on his climbing trip. So it looks like it wants to be in play today. 265,000 shares traded so far. Starting to get some volume in here, so yeah, let's definitely watch MGNX. MGNX, what's the float on this again? MGNX is 35. So a little bit on the lower side, but this stock does move. It can drop, you know, a couple of cents on you pretty fast. So we want to keep it down here in a risky pile, just so you can watch, you know, your share size and be aware that you might not want to take a full size on this stock alone. All right, guys, so let's look at what you have on your end. So here we have TWLO. TWLO is up 1.9, 500,000 shares. It should be coming up in our gappers list once it gets above 2. So yeah, this will definitely be in play. Wow, look at this. Look at this comeback in the pre-market. So it dropped here, went all the way back up from 110 to 117. That's quite a bit. Yeah, this will be in play today. Let's keep TWLO right over here. All right, so up 2.4. Volume is great, and most importantly, pre-market action is great. Look at this pre-market action, looks amazing. So I like TWLO going from red to green. So that's good. And then what do we have here? This all-time high? Probably not, but it's might be 52-week all-time high. No, it is all-time high. All right, yep. From what I can see, this is the all-time high right over here. One a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, 119. So all right, so this is interesting. I like that one. What else you guys have? Cron is popping up in our gappers list. Let's see what Cron is doing. Cron continues not to sell off from that 1940, 1960 area. Look at the daily chart, right? Let's remove these levels. It continues to every day. It could sell up, sell down, and it just never kind of breaks this level here. So today again is coming up again here, up 2.1, 112,000 shares traded so far. So interesting to see what Cron does. I like the daily chart on Cron. I think it had a pullback. It kind of consolidated now, but it really is not selling off below this previous day close. It did here on these 2 days, but then again it bounces right back. So I like the daily chart on Cron. Let's see if we could get a good pre-market action out of Cron. What else we have here? GRPN, and then we'll look at PYX. GRPN. GRPN, I don't like the volume on GRPN right now. 141,000 shares traded, and daily chart, it's down 12.4, so that's good. This could be in play. You know, it's interesting. Let's keep it on here. It is interesting. Let's see how it does later on. And what is the flow on GRPN, by the way? GRPN is right, so it's a larger flow. All right, let's keep it on here. Next we have PYX. PYX, a bit of volume, 143,000 shares. It is, oops, sorry, hold on. This did not change. PYX, here we go. Also, no volume on PYX, guys, and not a good pre-market action due to it. Next we have, yes, I agree, Stuart. And also Guy, TWOO definitely has a good pre-market watch list. Then we have LWLK, again under $1, but again, this could be interesting. I agree with you. This could be interesting, and if you trade stocks under $1, this looks like a really good pre-market action. I personally don't have the experience to trade anything under $1, so I just kind of stay away from it. But this does have the potential up 37%. Again, the volume is there, 4.1 million shares, so this could be something definitely in play. All right, UGAS, we'll wait for Brian to give us advice on UGAS. SOLO. I think we looked at this one earlier. It's starting to get some volume here. Let's see if it can get some volume. Let's look at it later. Right now, it doesn't have enough volume, and the pre-market action is not creating anything exciting at the moment. Now, it looks like it's trying to get going here, but let's see if we can get some volume. If it does, shoot it back to me, and if it has a good pre-market action. But right now, it doesn't seem great at the moment. Okay, what else we have? So we have Netflix. All right, Netflix is selling off quite a bit here with some volume, leaving the previous day close. Any news on Netflix? What is going on with Netflix? Look at Ben Singer, see what's happening here. There's no real news on this, so I'm not sure what is causing this drop, unless Ben Singer doesn't have. But yeah, this is it's getting interesting here. It's dropping quite a bit. 1.1 right now. Volume is 194,000 shares traded. So yeah, this looks like it looks like some news came out, because the way it's moving just looks very weak. Okay, so we'll keep Netflix on here. All right, guys, let's check two more, and then we have quite a bit of a list to go through, and let's find some levels. WORX. No volume on WORX. AMC, I have no information or activity for this morning on this one. Ethan is giving us HTC. Let's look at HTC. HTC, not a good pre-market action. It has the volume. So what the volume we're looking at now is huge block trades, right? So somebody's dropping in some really large orders, but there's really no volume at the moment for HTC. I do like HTC though, because every time I trade HTC, it has traded well. And we have been able to get some really good moves out of HTC, but does not look like today is going to be the day. But we'll look at our scanners. As you guys know, we have our turbo breakdown, turbo breakup, and these usually have some really good stuff that comes up here. I forgot it was ATBI that came up there a couple of days ago, and it was selling off pretty nice. We didn't have it in our watch list for that day. All right, so we'll look at one more. From day trader DBD. DBD looks interesting. See what we got going on over here. What's the float on DBD? 75 million shares float. Has a good pre-market action. If we can get more volume, this could be nice. Yeah, yeah, I like the pre-market action right now, but it needs more volume though. It really has to get more volume on this stock here. So all right, guys, let's go through what we have. We have quite a bit. Let's see what looks good here, what doesn't, and then if we get rid of the stuff that we don't like, we can possibly look at some more. Let's start with ATBI. So ATBI right now has tons of volume, 656,000 shares traded. But look at this pre-market action; it's just extremely choppy. Huge orders being dropped, just on these here, on these two volume bars. So again, but it's not creating a good pre-market action. So. But I do like the daily chart on this. Again, it just has been beat up so bad. It's gapping up a bit now, 3.1. Let's get rid of some of these levels here. All right, there you go. That looks a lot cleaner, less congested. Again, not a great pre-market action, but I do like the daily chart. So this is the only reason why I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not sure if this is due for a bounce back. We do have shares for short on this stock, so we can we can play it either way. And I like the levels. Look at the levels here. We have towards the bottom, previous day low right over here around 40, previous day close, previous day high. Previous day high is pretty close to this level as well, which is very close to what the low of the pre-market is, 42.57. Pre-market is at low is 42.39. Above that, look at this clean level right at 43.82 or so. So very clean level there. Another one right over here. So only reason I'm keeping this one is because I like the volume, and I do like the daily chart right now. So we'll come back to it. I like ATBI at the moment. EXEL is I like the daily chart. Is up 4.8, but again, we do have shares for short, but not a great pre-market action. At the moment, the volume is not coming in on this one here. So I am going to. I'm on the fence because this could turn out to be a really good play. We do have shares for short as well. You know what? Let's find some levels. Let's get some levels here, and then we'll make a decision in a bit. High of pre-market 23.75. Look at that pre-market, how it's respecting all these days over here and somewhat on these days, but we do have another level towards the top here at 24.18. Towards the bottom is at the low of the pre-market again, so I'm going to mark the low of the pre-market, see if we can hold that. We're at 22.64, low of the pre-market. You can see several days bouncing from that day, so that level means something. Below that, we can mark this date over here, several days over here at 22.25. Then below that, you have the previous day high, previous day close, and several other levels down here. So I like the daily chart. It needs to get more volume. Hopefully it does. Let's see what it is doing here at 22.64. FCX, no volume, not a good pre-market action. I'm going to drop this one. So again, it is up nice, 5%. Daily chart doesn't look great, so it doesn't have a lot going for it right now. I'm going to get rid of it because we just can't watch so many. APHA, horrible pre-market action. It's gapping 3.2, but just doesn't have a great pre-market action. I do like the daily chart, but Cron has the same daily chart, so I'm probably going to watch Cron. Cron tends to trade a little better. So out of the pot stocks, I'm going to watch that one. Also, CGC trades well also. All right. Horrible pre-market action, guys, on VALE. So I'm just going to get rid of it. It's getting some volume, but the pre-market action is really nasty here. And this stock doesn't really trade well. It is a foreign stock. The only reason it's been in our scanners lately is because of the bad news that they had over here that broke out. So again, just not a good pre-market action. BTI doesn't trade well. Why did I even keep this here? This is a horrible pre-market action. That's a mistake. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Okay, good. Teva is in play. We got some bad news on Teva, and they're feeling it down almost 12%. Low of pre-market 16.56. Below that, clean level down here 14.58. I'm gonna mark down this one here 15.88. The reason I'm marking this one because I like the fact that this day stopped there. This day sold off from here. It came right back to it. Banged their head several times, and once it got to it again, it took off. So I do like levels like that where you see that clean consolidation where they're having a hard time getting above that level. So towards the top, clean one over here, right? 17.88. Then there's really nothing much cleaning through here. I mean, you can mark this one just to have something for profit taking. Not the best cleanest level, 17.51, but you have this day here as well, and this day also kind of hanging around that 17.51. Not the cleanest level, but it'll be good for potential profit taking if you're in a long. If you find yourself in a long position here, trying to close this gap. So it held 16.58 twice already. Came down here in the low of pre-market, and it's been holding it. It's trying to bounce back. Looks like here on the 1 minute chart. TWLO, tons of volume, all-time high here. It went from 109 to 117, so that's pretty nice. Let's mark the low of the pre-market just to have that on here, 104.40. But here we have plenty of levels. We have the previous day high from yesterday, previous day high from yesterday, from 2 days ago here. No other levels up here because this is all-time high based on what I checked going all the way back. And then below this, we have several previous day low on the way down here. So you have these already. And then if it comes back and it loses that previous day close, do we have a clean level in between here? Not really clean levels in between here. So there's not really much between here that we have. So we'll keep it like that. Although it looks pretty strong right now, I don't think it'll come back down towards the pre-market lows after blowing through the to the previous day close like it did just now. CORN, I like the daily chart CORN right now. the pre-market action looks very crappy, but I do like the daily chart on this one, so I'm going to keep it on here for now, see what develops. Let's find some levels here. Let's look at here we have some previous day highs right over here. Then it's in a kind of in a range right now. Below that we have 1982. Where did we get this level from? It's right at this moving average too, so we'll leave it on there. 1982. Below that, previous day close. Then we have the previous day low over here and previous day low over here as well. Then towards the top, previous day highs, and then I hate when this thing does that. This pen changes the size on us. We can mark this one over here, clean level right over here at a 2154. Then obviously 23.93, and over here 25.05, the all-time high. All right, excellent. So let's see how it goes. Right now it's not the cleanest pre-market action, but I do like the daily chart on Cron. All right, GRPN. GRPN again is down quite a bit, 10.6, which I like, but to be honest, the pre-market action is just not looking too great right now. Okay, it's not looking good at the moment. It needs to get more volume, so I am going to get rid of it. I just don't like the pre-market action on that one. Netflix looks like it's in play. Let's get rid of some of these levels here. All right, so towards the top we have the previous day close. We rejected it several times, 1, 2, 3 times here at least. We have above the previous day close, we have 362 39. Anything above that? Oh yep, we sure do. Clear level right here, 379.64. I don't think we'll get there, but that's a very clean level there. Selling off right now towards the bottom, we have all these previous day lows, and then we have this one over here, 377.96. Excellent. All right, and then here we have MGNX. MGNX has been in play before. We traded it in the past when it was doing all this stuff over here. We have shares for short on this one, which is nice. We can trade it towards the long side and short as well. And here we have right now we have some between some levels, right? Previous day close, previous day lows, previous day low over here as well, previous day high, previous day high. So towards the top, if we get around these levels, we have one here at 24.64, another one here at 26.26, and then one all the way up here at 32. You can also mark this one here, 29.31. Towards the bottom, you have some moving averages coming in here already. So we can actually mark those. These are good moving averages. There's no daily chart action happening here. So we'll go with our moving average. I think that's the 200 coming in. So we'll mark the 200, which is around 1909. Then another moving average down here. So here you go, guys. I'm marking moving average. I know I get questions a lot on why I don't mark moving averages. This is a great example for me to mark moving averages because I just don't have no recent daily charts over here. All right, so 1909, 1692, and 1423. All right, guys, so let's see what else you guys have on your end that maybe we have not covered. MDR. MDR is down nicely, 19.4, but right now there's not much volume on this. So we do have shares for short, which is nice. When the stock is selling off like this, that's always good. It is a larger float, but just right now there's not much volume on this stock at the moment. So we can put some levels on it. Maybe if it pops into it looks like we traded before in the past. We have a level at 679, and let me see below that, clear level here at 628. Got all these days kind of bouncing back from that. Above this price action, we have a moving average here, but we also have some daily chart confirming that moving average. 796. Look at these days right here. 796 looks good. Above that, another levels over here at 836. These are all kind of hanging around that level. Then above that, previous day lows and highs, previous day close, and more previous day highs over here. Right now is holding this level here, previous day low at 744. So we'll mark 744 right over here. Let's see if it can maintain that or if it's going to break down from that. So again, looks good. I like the daily chart. I like that it's down quite a bit. It just needs to get more volume. So I'll keep it on here. If it gets more volume, I'll definitely put it on my watch list. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have a little too many. so I'll get rid of 2. MX, no, I don't think it is a low float. No, well, it is a lower flow. It's 35 million shares on MGNX. It is a lower float, but it's not low flow like a 10 million shares or 8 million shares. Those are really low, and you got to really be careful. Now, MGNX, you do have to watch it because the ATR on this is $2.74. So it does move. You got to be very careful on your size when you trade this. Yep, Jad. So it's, yeah, same thing. MGNX, it is a lower float. Again, it's 38 million. It's tradable, but I think you can really manage your if you can manage your size on this and not take 500 or 1,000 shares, you can trade this. You can trade as well. But it is very volatile, so you got to really watch it. I mean, we saw Andrew trade this a couple of days ago and how fast this can move. He took it for a short here, and it played out really nice. But you have to really be careful. And also, good points too. Where you got to check the spread. Make sure the spread is not it's not against you there. More than a couple of cents or so. Right now, the spread is pretty on and off. It was a cent just ago. Now it is 24 cents. So, but it's the pre-market. So at the open it could get tighter. All right, guys, so this is what I have so far. Let me see what's popping up into our gappers list here. Did we go over everything? Yep, we did. MDR again popping up over here. Yeah, MDR is looking very interesting. Continues to lose it here, looking very weak. Let's hope the volume comes in here. But right now, this is looking it's looking interesting. It's starting to hit our scanner, so people are going to start tuning into this, and hopefully it gets more volume as the morning develops. All right, guys, we have 4 minutes before 9:10 Eastern time. Any questions in regards to our watch list today? You guys, again, I don't really trade ETFs. Not that they're not tradable. Brian is great at ETFs, so we can wait till Brian comes on and we can ask him about UGAS and his feedback. But again, for me, if I look at this, I'm looking at it as a regular stock, and to me this daily chart looks horrible, but I know I cannot look at UGAS like this, right? So you have to, this is not my niche of trading when it comes to ETFs. This is why I barely trade TVIX and any of these other ETFs. I stick to just the common stocks. But yeah, let's wait for Brian to get on and he can advise us on UGAS. All right, guys, if there's not any more questions, DBD, yeah, we looked at DBD. What did I think it had no volume when we first saw it. Yeah, I like DBD's pre-market action. It's just the volume wasn't there, but it's starting to build now. What is the float on this? 75. No shares for short on my side. We can find some levels for DBD just to have it ready. I know it's been brought up a couple of times. So we have a level over here at 807. We're sitting somewhat at a level now. See these days over here? We're kind of right on at 704. I'm going to mark it just in case, see what the price action does. And then what else we have towards the bottom? In case you get the fallen angel here. Towards the bottom, we have over here 63.30. And then this one down here is pretty close to 54, 554. So looks okay right now. Hey, good morning, Brian. Before I get off YouTube, you want to give us your feedback on UGAS?
I think that it looks like to me that maybe we're going to price of natural gas is maybe going to start breaking down, because I've been watching it. We got up to a level of resistance. If you've been looking at some of my YouTube video posts, you'll see that we played that right up to that level of resistance. Got out. That's DGAS and KOLD, which is the short on natural gas prices. And so we finished off that trade, got out of it, and I've just been watching it here consolidate under that level of resistance, and we seem to be breaking out here. So I like it, and I got back into it yesterday, but and I'm going to probably add to the position today.
Excellent.
That's my opinion on. I don't think I'll play DGAS because it's just a little bit too. You can come in and be down $6 or $7 just as easily as you can be up 7 like we are today. Gold's a little bit less volatile, shall we say.
Gotcha. So there you have it, guys. For I know it's a lot of people asking about you guys, so that's and also just make sure you're signing up to Brian's swing trade alerts. Also his recap videos. He talks about a lot about these possible plays. So make sure you're looking at our YouTube channel for that as well. All right, guys, we're coming up on 9:10. Brian and I are going to start getting ready to for the pre-market show and set our watch list. So you guys on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Have a great morning. Trade safe, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.